We
Out of here.
get out of here.
Welcome back to Recap IT. Today we are going to recap a 2020 comedy romance movie titled Shithouse. A lonely college freshman feels alienated from his peers, but forges a strong connection with his resident assistant during a fraternity party. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to this channel. Now without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? In his dorm room with his roommate, Sam, Alex, a student in college who suffers from a lack of friendships, begins our film. He asks Sam if there is a party to go tonight because he is bored. Sam then responds that there is a party at a place named Shithouse, so he gets ready by showering. He runs across his resident helper, Maggie, at the party. After a brief flirtation, one of her friends approaches her to inform her that the guy she's pining on wants to hook up with her. As a result, Alex chooses to expand his social circle, where he meets a girl named Georgia. She chooses to take him to one of the house's rooms after kissing him. However, he withdraws because he is afraid, and he leaves. Outside, Alex dials his mother's number to inquire about which insomnia medication he should take. He, on the other hand, begins to cry as soon as he hangs up with her. Maggie, on the other hand, is making out with her crush, Scott. Unfortunately, Scott ejaculates in his pants, so it doesn't last long. He tells Maggie to leave and not to tell anyone about what happened since he is embarrassed. Sam goes into Alex's room, still intoxicated as ever. He attempts to help Sam get sober, but he doesn't want his assistance. Maggie, on the other hand, is sitting alone in her room, upset at what has occurred. Meanwhile, Alex is attempting to move institutions because he believes he is not in the right place. Finally, he becomes frustrated with having to care for Sam and goes to Maggie's chamber. Maggie tells about what transpired with Scott in her room, then expresses her dissatisfaction with him. As a result, Alex asks her if she'd like to hang together, but she quickly learns that, despite being his RA, she has no idea who he is. Alex and Maggie start making out after their talk gets sexual. Alex, on the other hand, says that all of his blood is in his head before they start having sex. As a result, he expresses regret for not being able to complete the task. Maggie, on the other hand, understands and offers to spend the night with him simply talking. After a while, Alex finds out about Maggie's turtle. She put him in a shoebox near a dumpster because he died today. Alex, perplexed, demands that he be buried instead. When Maggie considers burying her turtle on a mountain near campus, Alex retrieves the shoebox from the rubbish. They come across a bunch of individuals playing baseball while walking. Alex injures Maggie while throwing, so they decide to join them for a while. Maggie then asks if she is the first person he kissed, to which he responds that he had a girlfriend in high school, but they broke up due to college. He is surprised to learn that Maggie continued to cheat on her ex-boyfriend. After some time has passed, Alex is video called by his sister, who humiliates him in front of Maggie. Finally, Alex discovers Maggie's distant father, which explains her attitude toward males. Alex and Maggie arrive at the top of the mountain a few hours later and begin burying her turtle. However, she begins to cry in the middle of it since she is unable to complete the task. Despite the fact that he didn't know him, he's giving him a eulogy in order to make Maggie feel better. Unfortunately, Maggie is still upset about it. They then return to Maggie's room, where they begin to drink even more. Maggie starts kissing him again while they're drinking, and this time Alex follows through. Sam is at an open mic the next day, talking about what happened the night before. Meanwhile, Alex awakens next to a bemused Maggie. When he attempts to strike up a discussion with her, she dismisses him. He, on the other hand, continues to speak, oblivious to her attempts to persuade him to leave her room. He asks her out on a date, but she declines, stating that she has a lot on her plate. Alex is obliged to depart without receiving an explanation because he feels perplexed. Alex investigates Maggie's social media while she's at the gym a few hours later. Regrettably, she continues to ignore him. As a result, when he tells Sam what happened, Sam offers that they smoke pot together. He's disappointed, and he doesn't understand why Maggie treats him so badly. Fortunately, Sam tells him that he is not alone. Despite this, Alex continues to text Maggie to no avail. Sam eventually chooses to purchase wigs for a party later that evening. Alex notices Maggie and her companions entering the store. He tries to talk to her, nervous, but she pretends as if she doesn't know who he is. Sam, frustrated, proposes letting her leave because she clearly doesn't care about him. He then urges him to avoid her at the party and instead converse with other girls. Sam offers Alex a pep talk during the party to encourage her to talk to other girls. Fortunately, he meets Julia, a girl from the baseball team. She questions him about Maggie's leg right away, assuming they're together. He, on the other hand, informs her that they are not dating. He appears to spend the most of the party mingling with her friends, until Maggie notices him dancing with Julia. When he enters the kitchen, he discovers that he is kissing another man. However, because he's inebriated, it turns out to be another girl. He is thrown out by him because it is not an open party. He eventually starts rushing back into the house, away from the bouncer. He discovers Maggie getting ready in a room with another man. He then yells at him to leave, threatening to fight Maggie for mistreating him. Obviously, Maggie believes she is not at fault, because Alex is acting creepily. When he eventually acknowledges that he likes her, she responds that they only spent one night together and that she's trying to spend more nights with various guys. In the midst of their dispute, a man enters the room and declares that it is his. As a result, they'll have to continue fighting outside. Maggie becomes frustrated with his incessant blaming and advises him to have a life. Unfortunately, he makes a snide remark about her distant father, to which Maggie responds by telling him to enjoy his life with stuffed animals. Both Maggie and Alex are walking home, but in opposite ways. Both of them are reflecting on what the other has said, and Maggie reads the text that Alex has sent her. The next morning, Alex is greeted by a hungover Sam who has no idea how they got home. He looks after Sam while cleaning up the room because he has nothing better to do. Maggie and Sam struggle to divert their attention away from each other throughout the week. Finally, Alex decides to tell his mother and sister the truth about Emily and Josh, his imaginary companions, and how they never existed. She orders him to come home, perplexed, but he tells her that he's making new friends at the market. As a result, he wishes to remain with them. He begins to cry because he believes he has let them down. His mother is supportive, but his sister remains silent. When his mother tells him that she understands, he apologizes for not calling as often. Alex discovers Maggie dumping her turtle tank in the dumpster late at night. She then suggests that he provide her a hand. They both return to their rooms without speaking to each other after disposing of it. Alex is disappointed and attempts to sleep, but he wakes up to see Maggie like his photos on social media. Alex is seated with his buddies contemplating a project 2.5 years later, while Maggie is still with her old group. When he goes to see a play, however, he discovers that Maggie is in it. Evidently, his emotions have resurfaced. He runs into Maggie again after the play and offers to go to the library with her to prepare for their finals. Her buddies, on the other hand, are well aware that he's only looking for an excuse to hang out with her. She eventually agrees. Alex compliments Maggie's performance in the library, awestruck by her brilliance. She then inquires about his plans for the summer, to which he responds that he will return to his home. She does, however, inquire as to whether he will stay with her if she tells him she wants to be his girlfriend. Naturally, he agrees right away, but he does so with the caveat that she has dreadful attributes as a maid and that she should improve. Maggie understands and agrees with you. They kiss and then spend the rest of the night playing baseball together. And this is where the movie comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.